Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to my movie review of Resident Evil Damnation, the CGI motion picture. Now, I just felt inclined to do this movie review. This is not a movie review channel, but more like it's gaming related. It is Resident Evil, and I just felt inclined to do it because I just finished watching it, and it was actually a really good movie. And just felt like more people, especially the fans, if you haven't seen it already, should definitely check out this movie because it is actually pretty good. Actually, I'm very surprised. It's actually a very good movie. So I'm just trying to spread the word because I think more fans should definitely check this movie out. So basically, the movie starts out as a small country that was part of Russia is trying to gain its independence, and it's going to war against Russia. And you, as Leon, is sent in along with U.S. troops, and all of a sudden there's an order to withdraw from the country. Um, but Leon defies the order because apparently there are BOWs that are being used in the war, and Leon wanted to get behind and try to discover what's going on. So he defies the order, so he runs back and decide not to leave the country. So that's how the story begins, and pretty much the premises of the movie is surrounding that. Now let's start with the characters because they're all really memorable in this movie, and I actually like every single one of them. Leon is, your typical American um, tough guy, knows it all, been there, done that. He's seen everything, and he's actually portrayed really well by the voice actor of Leon, Matthew Mercer. He's pretty well known among anime and video games voice actors, so he's a veteran. So he did a good job with Leon. Pretty much Leon is kind of like his replica in Resident Evil 6 because it is done by the same voice actor in this movie and Resident Evil 6, so they do have kind of like the same persona uh, in both. Then we have Ada Wong, who personally I don't really know much about her, but she is one of my favorite characters in this movie. She comes across as very mysterious, very classy, sexy, and she always seems to be ahead of the game, always one step ahead of everyone else. She seems to always know what's going on. She's played by Courtney Taylor, also another veteran in the gaming and anime industry, and she's portrayed her really well. And now the chemistry between her and Leon is really strange in ways that they don't exactly like each other or hate each other, but they always seem to run into each other in very awkward situations. But I don't think they actually hate each other. It's just I think under circumstances they're kind of like enemies sometimes, but then at the same time they're not, because I think if one of them were in trouble, the other one would help. So they kind of have a very strange relationship, but their chemistry in this movie is excellent. I really like their chemistry in this one, especially Ada. Now I don't want to spoil it, but Ada in this movie does have a fight scene, hand-to-hand combat fight scene, with an opponent that is pretty much can go toe-to-toe with her, if not better than her, if I say so. And it is a really well done fight scene, and it is probably one of the highlight for me in the movie. So I mean, if you are just an Ada fan, you haven't seen this movie, just that part alone is worth checking it out. But the whole movie is good in itself. Now next we have the villain of the movie, portrayed by Wendy Lee. Now she is a very likable villain. She's one of those villains that you actually like, kind of like Albert Wesker. She's very elegant, very classy, smart. She's very tough looking. Like she's been there, done that, experienced it all, and just really well portrayed by Wendy Lee. And yeah, in a way, I was kind of rooting for her at the same time, even though she is, a villain. But she's just very likable, and like I said, all the characters in this series, in this movie, are very likable, and she's definitely one of them. Then we have JD. He's kind of like the comic relief character in this movie. He actually does come off as pretty funny. He's played by Val Tasso, another veteran of the voice acting business. And he doesn't like Americans, but he does like things that are made in America. And he's a pretty likable character. He does have some emotional parts in the movie. Overall, I enjoy his performance. And then finally, we have the another main character. He goes by the name Buddy in the movie. Uh, and he's played by Dave Wittenberg, who's also a longtime veteran of voice acting. Um, he gets as much exposure as Leon in this one. He does play a very important role in the movie. He's actually the leader of one of the resistance, and he does get a little bit of a backstory of why he became the leader of resistance and why is he doing what he's doing. Overall, his character is well played. Probably if I had to rate it, I think his character is not as likable as all the other characters or as memorable. Although there is one very memorable emotional scene at the very end with him. Um, and no, it's not a spoiler, so but yeah, overall, that's the whole cast of the voice actor. They all did a very excellent job. They're all veterans, so the voice acting is superb, and I thoroughly enjoy all of them. So by now, you can tell that I like the movie. It was actually a surprise for me because I didn't really expect going into it that it was going to be any good. I mean, if you take a look at the live action series of this series, it's not very good at all, minus maybe the first one. So I had my doubt going into this one, but um, after seeing Degeneration, and then so I was willing to give a shot with Damnation, and I would have to say compared to the first one, Degeneration, the animation in this one is 3 times better. It's a lot more fluid. It's a lot more detailed. The facial animation is great. It's far superior to Degeneration. The story is better. The sounds are better. The voice acting is superior. Um, I don't know. I just can't say enough good things about it because I was genuinely surprised of how good this movie was. And when the credits started rolling, I was just like, wow. I was hoping for more, but unfortunately there's only 2 right now. But if Capcom is sticking to this and doing what they're doing, where when they released it, Resident Evil 5, they released the Degeneration like 2 weeks before the game came out. And they released this movie, I think it was a month before Resident Evil 6 was supposed to come out. So if they're continuing that trend, maybe there's another one that's coming out before Resident Evil 7. So I can only hope because I'm really enjoying these animated version. It's probably I don't watch many animated version. Probably the last one I watched was for Starship Trooper, and that was pretty good. But I don't watch very many game-related animated movies. So this was a surprise. So all I have to say is if you haven't seen it or you brushed it aside like me the first time you saw it because you're thinking it's going to be a stupid movie, just like how the live action is, I was sorely mistaken, and I really highly recommend you go maybe rent this, pick it up, or somehow track it down because it's definitely worth a shot. It's not going to be a waste of time. It's miles better than the live action movie, and yeah, I highly recommend it. Go pick it up, and yeah, thanks for watching this short video review.
Do you really think I'm gonna fall for that? Look like I need a pruning. Don't kill him! That's one request I can't grant.